Lesson 13, page 73. This is a fun one. Substitution and finding the area of isosceles triangles. I think the easiest way for me to teach substitution is by just showing you an example problem. So I'm going to start by looking at example 13.1 on page 74. So substitution, what you're trying to do in substitution is isolate for an x or isolate for a y. Now in this problem, x is already isolated. It is on its own. So if we have x on its own, we actually know the value of x. The value of x here is y plus 5. In the past, we've known something like x equals 3. So when we know x equals 3, we just plug that in here and solve. Well, we actually still know what x equals. It's just a little expression there. So what we can do is plug in y plus 5 for x. So we can say, let's move this down, 3 times y plus 5, which remember is the value of x. This is just substituting. That's what substitution is. It's all this. Then plus 2y equals 5. Now from here you just solve. You distribute 3y plus 15 plus 2y equals 5. 3y plus 2y, 5y plus 15 equals 5. Subtract 15. That would be negative 5. Sorry, nope, negative 10, equaling 5y. Then you divide by 5 to find that y equals 2. Y equals 2. Now once you know y, you can just plug in to find x. So if we plug that in right here, we'd figure out 2 plus 5, x equals 7. And there's your answer. Now I will say, when doing this, you actually want to write your answer coordinate style. So x is always first, y is always second in the coordinate. So that is how we write our coordinate. 7, 2 would be our answer. Let's look at example 13.2. Got to solve using substitution. Now for this one, we don't have an x or a y isolated yet. So we're going to have to do that extra step. So let's look at this top one. This looks like it'll be easy to isolate the y. Because if we have 3x minus y equals 11, if we simply subtract 3x from both sides, we would get negative y equals 11 minus 3x. Y is almost isolated, it's still got the negative. So in order to get rid of that, simply divide by negative 1 by everything. When you divide this by negative 1, you're going to get y, positive y, equals 11 divided by negative 1 is negative 11. Negative 3x divided by negative 1 is positive 3x. So we simply switch the signs for everything. So y equals negative 11 plus 3x. Now we can plug that in for the other equation. You can't plug it in the same equation. These are still the same. We have to plug it in for the other equation. So we say 2x plus 3 times negative 11 plus 3x equals negative 11. And we're just solving. 3 times negative 11, negative 33. 3 times 3x, 9x. Like terms are 2x, 9x. Those that would be 11x minus 33, negative 11. Add 33. That equals 22. 11x. Divide by 11. Find that x equals 2. And bada bing, bada boom, you got your answer. Oh, we got spectators, yay. X equals 2, and now you just got to plug that in. like so. 3 times 2 minus y equals 11 6 minus y equals 11. Subtract 6. It's getting a little cluttered. Negative y equals 5. Divide by negative 1, so y would equal negative 5. Write those like so. And there is your answer. So that is how you do, what did we just do? That is how you do substitution. Substitution. Do my spectators want to say hi? You'll be on the video. The last concept for this lesson is finding the area of an isosceles triangle. Remember, an isosceles triangle has two congruent sides. And in order to find an area for triangle equals 1/2 base times height. In order to find the area, we need the base and the height. We only have a base right now. If you remember, in a triangle, the height is always perpendicular. Height is always perpendicular. We don't know that yet. How could we find that? Well, what we could do is divide this into a small little triangle here. So imagine if I looked at this as a triangle like this. We cut this in half, because 4 is the whole. We divide that in half by 2, because 2 is from here to here. Hypotenuse is 5. And we could find x by using Pythagorean theorem. So we do Pythagorean theorem. 2 squared plus x squared equals 5 squared. And we solve. Subtract 4. 19 equals x squared. So therefore, square root of 19 equals x. So now we have our height. Haven't solved yet. Oh, sorry, 21. I don't know where I got 19 from. 21. Square root of 21 equals x. So now we have our height and our base. So we have area equals 1/2. Base is 4. Height is square root of 21. And we can solve. 1/2 of 4 is 2. So simplified, we can just say the area is 2. Radical 21, I don't know, what's the measurement? Centimeters squared. And that is how you solve for area of a isosceles triangle. And that is the end of lesson 13.